You are now listening to the J Ade podcast.
We're getting ready to start this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the J Ade podcast. It's your boy, J Ade, in the building, and we are back here for episode 6 of the J Ade podcast, man. You already know what time it is. We're right here at Hustle Firm Studios in College Park, Maryland, and we have 2 special guests on the show today. I told my followers earlier this week that I don't have a poll in store and that I wanted to drop the episode before dropping the actual poll itself. So this isn't just another social justice conversation, but definitely check out episode 4, Fake Woke, if y'all want to hear some social justice topics and things like that. But today's topic is driven by something that I saw on the timeline that is related to social justice, and it was, centered around, social anger on the timeline. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce the people that we have before me today. I have one lady and I have one gentleman. As I always do, we're going to have the lady introduce herself first, then the fella will introduce himself subsequently. Lady, what's your name? Where are you from?
Okay, my name is Emily.
Okay.
AKA Boosie Boo.
Okay, Boosie Badass.
I am from Virginia, I
Okay,
guess.
what part of Virginia?
Richmond. I say Richmond, but it's really Chesterfield,
Do you rep the DMV?
To an extent. Okay. I went to school in George Mason, Northern Virginia, so.
Because I know the DMV people don't really claim Virginia like that.
Yeah, y'all really be trying to leave us out of it, but it's okay.
All right, okay. You got any social media shout out before we move on to the gentleman?
GWG_beauty on all
on all platforms. Okay, got you. Even TikTok, right? So all right, gentleman, man, what's your name? Where you from, man?
What's going on? My name's Femi.
Okay.
Maryland, born and raised.
Okay.
Currently live in Lanham.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a little something.
You got any social media shout out?
No, I don't want to try that my social.
You cool. I allow people to do that if you want to be under the radar and inconspicuous based on the opinions that you share on the show.
I ain't tripping. They got it. It's Femtro, FEMTRO.
Okay.
Don't follow me though.
Hey, I mean, you already mentioned the name, so people are bound to follow you based on what they hear today. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is a little bit different in terms of how I'm approaching it because I did not actually have a poll for it on my Instagram. Make sure to follow me on social media, by the way, at Joe the Great, JOETHEGR8, as well as my podcast page at j.ade.pod. On the gram on both of those, man. You know what time it is. But we're going to get right into the topic. We had our guests in the room introduce themselves already, so we're going to introduce today's topic. And like I said, this is centered around some kind of social outrage and anger that I saw on the timeline. I thought it was very, very important to discuss this matter because I think this is something that a lot of millennials can kind of resonate with and kind of have a solid understanding of. So pretty much what happened was a family member of a guy that got murdered by a cop publicly declared that he forgave the brother's killer. I'm sure the both of you are familiar with that story. And pretty much what happened was the victim's brother hugged the police officer that shot his brother after she had been sentenced in court. And after that, the victim's father came out and said, "I'd like to become your friend at some point," in reference to the woman that killed his son. And so based on that, I wanted to name today's topic Unforgivable. Because I truly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that there is no way I can forgive somebody for such a heinous offense. But like I said, we had the lady introduce herself first today, and we're going to have the gentleman state his answer to this question first. And our first question for today is there a such thing as unforgivable? Yes or no? And why?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's talk about it.
I think forgiveness in itself is, something that means it can be forgivable. Like, I don't think forgiveness has no bounds.
Okay.
I think that whether someone wrongs you, offends you, that doesn't mean you can forgive them. That doesn't mean you have to be, buddy or,
right.
Stay cool with them forever. You can go your separate ways. But if you hold that to you or hold that with you, then, it ends up doing more damage to you in the long run, I feel.
Okay.
And it's just not good energy to have around. Let it go. If it happened, it happened. Let it go. Make sure it don't happen again. And then, go about your business because, you got a whole life to live. You don't want to have something like that really holding you back from everything that you're meant to do, all the, blessings and success that you're supposed to have. So, that's kind of how I see it.
Okay, so in your mind, there's no such concept as unforgivable in terms of your personal sanity, right? So you're saying you should try to forgive people as much as possible in order to, develop yourself.
Yeah, for sure. And I think forgiveness goes hand in hand with yourself as well because, I think everyone can look back and think of, many things that they've done that offended someone.
Right.
Sometimes, you ever have like those moments where you get like random secondhand embarrassment, something that happened like 10 years ago?
Right.
I think if we continue to hold on to those things like, oh, I did this to somebody else, I wonder if they, forgave me. I wonder, you want them to forgive you as well. So like, who am I to say that, nothing can be forgiven, or I will never forgive someone for something when I've, I got my own track record of like
offenses.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's perfect that you brought that perspective up, because this is just so interesting, because we're going to really get into where do we draw the line of forgiveness, right? You're saying that you should be able to forgive somebody no matter what circumstance because of the fact that you have done things to offend others that might be unforgivable in their eyes, potentially, or controversial, right? So before we get into your thought, though, I want to hear your perspective on it. So is there such thing as unforgivable? Yes or no to you?
I mean, I feel like the Christian answer would be no. Like, there's no such thing as
Not
unforgivable. You said what?
Christian answer.
Okay. No, let's hear it.
But I feel like there's some situations where it would be so hard to just be the bigger person and forgive someone for it. No matter how much it's for your sanity or it would be better for your soul. So, I mean, I guess it would be nice to say like some things like are forgivable or, opposite of what he said. But I feel like there are some situations where I can't think of it right now because I haven't been in that position. But I feel like there's some people out there who can really like tell you their life stories, and it's just so hard for them to forgive certain people. Okay.
So, and to that point, right? So you said you can't think of an example right now, but that actually goes into my next point, which is what is an unforgivable offense to you, right? So, like I said, we talked about this case where this is there's the brother of the victim came out and hugged his brother's killer and said that he forgives them. Let's say your sibling were to be murdered by someone. Would you be able to forgive them for this? Yes or no?
No. Just
let's hear like the like your logic behind it. And I'll state my piece too after y'all state your piece.
Okay, so I feel like in that type of going off of the situation that you're referencing, I just feel like it wasn't genuine. Like, it literally kind of, I don't know how long ago the man got killed.
Like the brother hugging the offender?
No, I know that was recent, but how long ago did he get killed?
I think it was about a year ago.
A year ago?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could have done enough soul searching
in a year
to forgive.
But I mean, your brother's your brother at the end of the day, right?
Facts. So I don't know. I just think about the relationship with my siblings, my family, and if someone was to kill them, I don't think I could stand in a courtroom and be like, I forgive you. Or even take it as far as the father who said, I want to be your friend.
Yeah, that's weird as fuck to me.
Yeah.
Personally, like what?
Yeah, that's just OC and going way too far.
Okay. And what you think, bro? Sibling murdered outright.
For sure.
Can you forgive that?
First off, if anybody touch my family, you getting clapped off the butt.
Let the chopper sing, boy.
That's beside the point.
Yes, sir.
Because I think that we're spending too much time, not actually think about what forgiveness is in itself.
Okay, let's talk about it. Let's unpack it.
Let's unpack it. You feel me?
Let's look at the definition while we at it.
Because if you do something like you touch my family, whatever, like it's not me saying I forgive you in a moment or it's okay. Like me in that moment saying whatever, like that's something that takes time. Forgiveness takes time. There's no way you can. There's too much emotional investment to say that I don't know if I can forgive them now or whatever. That in itself takes time. So for even the kid to be able to say like I forgive you or whoever said they I forgive you, that shows a lot of weight that he holds and a lot of built up, I guess, just personal maturity in themselves. Because I mean I couldn't do that, but I think that down the line I would have to find a way to forgive for my personal sanity because
right.
like. That's something that I know will haunt me forever. It's going to affect every single layer of my life, work, relationships, my personal, just how I feel. And if I continue to dwell on that fact in itself, then everything else will fall victim to that. And that's not the way I'm about to live,
Okay. And then to that relative point, right? So let's say it's not a sibling, right? Or does even that offense depend on the relative? So for example, let's say somebody killed your cousin versus your sibling itself. Is it easier to forgive the person because it's like, it's my cousin? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I have no bounds. I mean, it's family. Like,
okay. I know some people, value, certain relationships more than others, right?
Even
that's just life.
Like a good friend of mine, like if I had a good friend and like someone was to like, kill them or whatever, like it's still the same type of law.
Okay.
It's going to take time for sure, but I
think ultimately you'd be able to do it?
I will have to do it. Okay. For sure. I mean, forgiving that person isn't saying, it's all good, bro. Like, I know you didn't do it, whatever. Like, but this is for me saying, like, I got to get over that situation for myself.
I got you.
So that I can move on with my life because I'm 25. I got, You know what I'm saying? 100 years God willing left to live, and
Amen,
I'm not about to.
I don't know if I want to be out.
You know what I'm saying?
125 though, man.
I'm not about to be 35 sitting in my room.
Think about
that moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though it's going to happen, you know, you got to do what's in your power to, you know, make sure it doesn't affect you in the worst way.
Okay. So let me add another layer to it, right? So let's say, okay, so I have another question. Does it vary based on who commits the offense? As in, are you more willing to forgive a family member or a friend? Right? So to put it to even more context, so this might seem like a pretty straightforward answer, but a lot of people believe that their friends are easier to forgive because these people that they selected as associates, these are people that they selected as associates, as opposed to family members that they were literally born with. Do y'all agree that it might be easier to forgive one group versus the other? What would you say? Friends versus family in terms of any offense at all? I can give y'all an example, but I want to hear your answer first.
I think I hold those to the same weight.
Okay.
Because I feel like both those groups of people know who you are, and they should know what not to do, and like, you know, what not to do to piss you off or get you to a place where you don't like to be.
Right.
So the fact that they have gotten you to that point, to me, it would probably be harder for me to forgive a friend or a family member because you're just looking at it like, damn, you really did this to me. I trusted you. Like, I confided in you. Like, so much emotions is within that relationship. So to me, it would be harder to forgive a family member or a friend. Like, to me, it's on the same level. Yeah.
What do you think, bro?
Let's see. I think it's harder. I don't think it's a difference, to be honest.
For real?
Yeah. I mean, I can only speak personally, to be honest. But
okay.
If my family member does me wrong, whatever, and I'm like, you know, vexed, like for real, like there's so much, me personally, there's so much emotional attachment that I have to my family that I don't think nothing can really cut that bond, regardless.
I feel the same way though. Yeah, so I know people who have said they can cut off their family, like if I know people who have done that though, like off some like verbal altercation.
Niggas is tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But I just know that's just the way I am. Like, I wouldn't say they could do whatever, but like, you know what I'm saying? There's no way I'm about to be like, leave me, or like, I don't want to see you ever again. Like, that's not going to happen. Whereas a friend, so I guess maybe it's easier to forgive my family. You know what I'm saying? Maybe harder to forgive a friend because I think that I personally attach a lot more emotional investment into my family than I do my friends. So that alone would make it that if my friends was to do something, it's a lot easier for me to like kind of, you know what I'm saying, scrap. Like, what's up? Like, we
I feel that.
Yeah.
And I think something that's interesting though is that there's another layer to that friendship aspect, right? So like I was saying, I feel like people have said that it's a lot easier to forgive friends because they feel like they are low key responsible for the offense that was committed, right? So in the sense that like they're like, yo, I should forgive this person because I was one that chose to have this person in my life. So for them to offend me this way, it's like, damn, maybe I should forgive them because, you know, I was the one that looped them into my circle in the first place, as opposed to my family where it's like, you know what I'm saying, I was born with these niggas, you know what I'm saying, out the gate. But does that not make sense though? You shaking your head.
That's backwards, dog.
No, but think about it. I mean, I see both sides. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see that at all.
No, I see both sides because like with the family, it's like, all right, you know, I was born to this family. I have a strong emotional connection to them. But at the same time, obviously, you know, freshman year college, you know, situation where, you know, everybody's meeting everybody. You have a big ass group of friends. That's just based on circumstance. I'm talking about like real friends after college. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You chose those niggas. You know what I'm saying? You went through school.
For sure, yeah.
And that's your squad. I feel like to some people, they feel more inclined to forgive these people that they chose to do life with even after those 4 years of college. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And that makes sense. Let me give you an example.
Wait, more inclined to forgive them because you chose them as
That's
friends?
what I'm saying. So people have that guilt factor in terms of like, yo, I was the one that chose this person to be in my life. Let me give you an example.
I think that's backwards. I see what you're saying.
Let me give you an example. So your cousin comes to spend the night at your house and steals $200 from your crib, like out of your wallet, versus your homie, you know what I'm saying, pulls up, does the same shit. Who would you be more likely to forgive? No, and that's why I said your cousin, not your sibling. Your sibling is different. You know what I'm saying? Siblings take shit from you, blah blah blah. All right, that's my brother, that's my sister. I'm saying your cousin. Let's even say it's not even like, oh, this is my mom's son. This is like a remote cousin that you just met from, man. You just found out you are related. You're not even related like that. You know what I'm saying? No. Real close family friends.
Henry, is that true?
Chill. My man dropping names. Anyway, no. Okay, so in that situation, right? Which one would you say is easier to forgive? The cousin or the friend? In a situation where the friend is like somebody, the cousin's like, all right, that's fam. Our parents are connected, and that's why we're connected. Yeah. As opposed to this friend where it's like, yo, we connected. I thought I could trust you to a certain degree, blah, blah, and this happened. So in that situation, who would you think is easier to forgive?
if I had to choose, it would be easier to forgive the cousin.
Why is that?
Because that's family.
Okay.
But like you said, it goes back to your point. Are you saying like you chose this friend? Like you weren't like, we built a bond. Well, we thought we built a bond.
Right.
But you out here stealing from me. Like, how can I even trust you after that? Like,
How can you trust the cousin though? Does the same logic not apply? It does.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't, because the cousin is like
family.
Your family. Yeah.
But I just told you it's a remote cousin. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a cousin. So at the same time, it could, quote unquote, be a friend. This is like pretty much a forced relationship. This is not a relationship you had control over. This person stayed over the weekend because they live in Texas and their parents are going to Nigeria and they didn't trust them to stay at home by himself. So they brought that cousin to Maryland.
Well, I'm going against the grain and not forgiving anybody.
Anybody?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same
$200, $200, man. I need my bread.
That $200 date she needs.
No, it's not even about the money though. It's the principle. Like how you bring a friend into
$200 date. Shaking my head.
Like how you bring a friend. Like how does a friend come and steal from you? Like that's just principle. It doesn't even matter about.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. How does family come and steal from you?
But you just said they're not really like family.
But that's what I'm saying. But they're family based on association, right? So,
but the relationship isn't there. So.
Okay, so let's say the relationship is there. I'm really just trying to try you right now. Like.
So the relationship is there. We grew up together.
Okay, yeah.
You know, right. That's basically like my sibling or whatever, I guess.
I won't go as far as saying that, but
okay.
The relationship is there. Versus a relationship with a friend, and you guys, you know what I'm saying? College is tough, right? A lot of my friends, you know, obviously I had a really large friend group in my freshman year, and my friend group decreased significantly by my senior year. And I would say that my college friends, I have a lot of close childhood friends, but I feel like my college friends are my closest friends in terms of like going through life together with them.
That's not your friend if they can steal from you.
Correct. However, I'm saying in a situation where this person does steal from you, which side? Before we move on, I want to get a definite answer from both of y'all because neither of y'all answer my question.
Yeah, because this is difficult.
No, seriously, yeah, it's controversial, man. That's what the JID podcast is all about, man.
I think that well, it's obviously a situational thing, but
right,
because there's a lot of like for me, my family's kind of small.
Right,
there's only my immediate family. Everybody else lives in Nigeria.
Okay,
so I don't really even know them like that. Like I just met them last year.
Okay,
whereas like. But we're still tight, even with just meeting, we're still tight.
Okay.
But you got like other people who might come from like broken families, you know, like a lot of parent issues, sibling issues, you know, really big families, just a lot of different scenarios. Regardless of that, or regardless of friends, like there's going to be emotional attachment and all that. I think that's what makes a difference.
Okay.
Because I'm the type of person, if you family, right?
I got you.
Regardless, because I didn't grow up with a big family, so when I do meet that you my family, it's like it's love, regardless.
Right.
But if you do, you know what I'm saying, kind of some shady stuff, like I'm the type of person where like I don't know what the word is.
Wash my hands from y'all.
Not washing hands. I'm like a rationalist. Like I'll think it through. You know.
Okay.
Like what's really going on? You know.
Like why did he do it?
Yeah. Like talk to me, bro. You know, type of thing.
But think about like Kanye West, right? Kanye West's cousin stole his laptop and he had to pay $20K for that shit.
Yeah. That's all. You know what I'm saying? People come from different families, broken families. Like
imagine paying $20K for your own laptop.
That's crazy.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I'll fight you before I pay you $20K. For real.
Kanye
but at the same time,
nobody.
like same with my friends, where like. If they were to do anything shady like that, like I'm the type of person we're going to talk about what's going on. Like I'm not about to just W.
Okay.
So they go kind of go
you're
both
very
ways.
mature.
Nah, I feel that for sure.
Like, because I don't think I have a big friend group either. Like, I mean, all my friends from freshman year are my dogs now, and so like we're real tight. Where like if something was to happen, like yo, are you good? Like
yeah,
you know,
like why did you do this?
Yeah, like you need something, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like what's up? So I would take it that way first before it's like. No forgiveness or like square up, bro, type of thing.
Okay, so empathy. It's kind of like your
There's a lot of empathy on both sides.
Okay, and I respect that. All right, okay, so we're gonna take it a step in a different direction, right? So we're talking about friendships and we're talking about where we draw the line between whether it's to forgive friends versus family. But let's say no family is involved, right? So let's say you have a significant other, right? And your significant other is cheating with your best friend. At this point, are neither of them forgiven? Or if you had to choose between the two, who would you forgive?
I'm forgiving my husband.
I said significant other. It's not even husband yet.
Oh, significant other?
Significant
you said with best friend, right?
Boyfriend or girlfriend, and you found out they like messing with your best friend.
Oh no.
Your best friend, right hand woman, right hand man.
They're both canceled.
But I'm saying like who? Okay, so at this point, are neither of them forgiven? Or if you had to choose between one to forgive over the other, which one would you choose?
Neither are forgiven.
For real?
Yeah.
Neither are forgiven.
Neither are forgiven.
So at that point, what does that look like for you? So are they both cut off at that point? Do you discuss the matter after the fact? Or do you just kind of take it for what it is and go about your day? Like let's say let's say, right, before you answer, let's say your best friend, you didn't find out through the grapevine. Your best friend was like, you know what? I feel so bad. I'm going to confess this to you. Does that play any value in terms of whether or not you're likely to forgive them? Like, okay, she went out of her way to confess this to me instead of me finding out from the streets. At that point, she does belong to the streets, but the fact that she you saw that tweet? No. In all seriousness, though, does that play a factor in terms of, okay, she confessed versus if she didn't and you just found out on your own?
It could play a little bit of a factor.
Okay.
I think I will listen to her, see what she has to say, why it happened, just get her thought process behind it.
Okay.
And I could possibly be inclined to forgive based off of like what Femi said earlier, because it's better for my sanity. But she's still cut off.
What's a logical thought process for fucking your best friend's man? No, I just want to hear what thought process could she say? I was lonely.
No, but literally,
Jesus
sis could have
Lord.
been vulnerable. Like she could have been going through a hard time.
Wow.
You know,
I don't do that.
My boyfriend could have been manipulative. Like you know,
Manipulation, man. That's that last episode of JID Podcast, man. Listen to that team. You get me.
So, I mean, there's different factors. So, but they're both still cut off. But I could possibly forgive. But
Possibly.
Yeah.
Based on her reasoning.
Yeah,
So the vulnerability
yes.
thing / his manipulation could cause you to forgive her ultimately.
Yes.
But not him. Because what if he was feeling vulnerable? What if he felt like the relationship was so broken that who else better to confide in than her closest friend who knows her just as well as I do, if not better? And so somehow
the best person would have been me.
One thing led to another.
No, the best person would have been me.
He called her like, yo, let me get some advice on how to fix the situation, fix our broken home.
No, because then I feel like it'll find a way to end up being my fault. And that we're not having that. Like, both of you guys made a decision and you guys hurt me in the process. So own up to it. Don't try to switch it around and say this person was vulnerable. Like, you know, like...
You just said that.
Yeah, I did.
Hold that thought. What you got to say about this, bro? No. Hold that thought. She just flipped her story. No. What you think, bro? No, you gonna hold that thought because we gonna get into this. You just contradicted yourself there. JID Podcast. Let's do it.
No.
What you got to say, bro?
Slim, both of them cut off box.
All right.
It ain't no thinking too much into it. As far as like forgiveness goes, I don't want to keep bringing back like what forgiveness or what it is.
Right. No, that's cool. I mean, that's your thought process.
I'm the type of person where you do something like that, it's a wrap. Like you're done for good.
Okay.
And that's just how it is. I'm just gonna go about my day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I might unleash some toxic energy elsewhere, but as far as like that goes, like I'm just gonna dub it. I'm just gonna move on.
Okay.
Like, cause as a nigga, you're gonna be wrecked.
Right.
Like you're gonna be very, very, very wrecked, and like I'm not about to be wrecked for long. So like you got to do what you got to do to like get out of that as soon as you can, because like, again, I can't have no outside things affecting my energy. So like, and it's a dub, and
okay.
You're not trying to hear no reasoning? Why?
No, not even close. Nah.
No reason.
Because,
so you're not forgiving either party, the girl or your homie.
I wouldn't say I'm not forgiving them, but like in that moment, like there's just no talking.
They just cut off in terms of the actual interaction itself.
Oh, not for good.
Okay.
Both of them definitely cut off for good.
Okay.
Like because. So there's just too many people in this world, like so. Like there's not really much excuses I can hear.
I feel it,
you know.
And for the listeners out there, by the way, he did use the term "off bucks." That is a Maryland term, which means with immediate effect.
Immediate.
All right, okay, and that's fair though. But I would say that some people have a lot more patience than others, and I kind of want to ask you guys, where do you guys draw the line between somebody who has patience versus somebody who is a pushover in reference to forgiveness, right? So, like personally, I know a lot of people who will let the same person offend them repeatedly, but continue to allow this person into their space. So I kind of wanted to get an idea from you guys on where do you draw the line between patience and just being a pushover, just being walked over? Which I think.
I mean, I would need an example of where the line would be drawn.
Okay,
like,
so we could talk about this again. Cheating.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. So cheating, significant other, you know, have a couple cheating episodes, season 1 JID Podcast. You know what time it is, baby. You feel me? I got emotional versus physical cheating, man, all that there. Let me press my button real quick.
You are now listening to the JID
For real. I definitely got the cheating episode on Deckington. But you get me. But to that point though, like let's say this is somebody where, you know, either the guy's side or the girl's side, you know, and your significant other continues to cheat on you, right? And I know people, I mean, there's guys that stay in those situations, and there's, you know, girls that stay in those situations.
Sad boys.
And I mean, it's sad boys and sad girls, man. Hashtag both of those.
Facts.
But to that point, right? At what point is it okay? He slipped up, versus this nigga knows I'm going to forgive him, so he continues to just be in these streets. Or this girl knows I'm going to forgive him. Or she knows, this girl knows that forgiveness is going to take place. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing.
I think if it's multiple occasions,
Okay.
like, and low key, I don't know, based off of this example you just gave,
Okay.
I low key feel like patience and the line between patience and what's the other option?
Patience versus being a pushover.
Patience versus being...
I have a perfect post.
Oh,
Continue.
Patience versus being a pushover is like very thin.
Okay.
Like, because patience to me is like maybe one time.
Okay.
And then if it's multiple times, then at that point you're being a pushover because they know you're just going to keep forgiving them and you're just going to keep making excuses as to why they're doing what they're doing. So why would they change?
So for you, one instance is the end all be all. One incident.
It depends on the situation. Most of the time...
I'm saying cheating specifically.
Oh, cheating specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once. Once and done.
I mean, a lot of people say that, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, a lot of people don't really stick to it. I mean, I'm not saying you don't, because I mean, I don't know your situation, you know what I'm saying? But,
no, one and done. Because I think, like me, I feel like it would be unreal. Like for me personally, well, depending on who it is. If it's my husband, one and done. If you're my boyfriend, you're out. Like, it's a dub.
And I'm gonna get Femi to talk about this cheating scenario, and I have another scenario that I want to talk about too in reference to this. 'Cause I want to see what your answers are. So to the cheating point, right? At what point are you, is it patience versus being walked over?
If it's cheating, is one and done. For
Okay.
sure, like a freshman guard trying to go to the league, like one and done.
At Kentucky or
For
Duke.
sure. But I consider myself a very patient person. But if we're talking about this situation specifically,
Infidelity specifically.
yeah, like fidelity, like there's no question.
Okay.
Like,
All right, that's fair. So and both of you guys draw the line on that. Okay, which I respect. Okay, so let me give you guys another example that's not as extreme, but it's something that is kind of a little bit more subjective, right? I think that I've witnessed a lot of situations where, either the boyfriend or the girlfriend tends to, kind of act up in public settings around, other people. So like, a guy will try to like go out of his way to like son his girl, around his homeboys, or like the girl will try to like son her, son, you know what I'm saying? Or like the girl will like go out of her way, like, shut your stupid ass up to her boyfriend. No, I've seen it before, you know what I'm saying? And that's the type of situation, right?
Okay.
Obviously that's something y'all discuss after the fact because, one party is going to express, yo, you just disrespected me. Like that was mad embarrassing, you know what I'm saying? So you forgive the first time. At what point, right? And that goes to my next question, which is, do y'all have a strike rule or does it kind of depend on the offense in terms of how many times you have to offend me in order for me to say, all right, you're cut off, or all right, I don't forgive you. So public disrespect. It's another scenario there. I'll let Femi answer first because you answered first for the cheating thing.
Cool. I've never seen such a wild thing like that happen. I hope I never do. But I think in those type of situations, like, whatever happens in the moment, you obviously got to speak about it behind closed doors. Like, let's be adults and like, what's really going on? Like, who you trying to big up? Like, what are you trying to do? Just speak
like
on it.
Who you trying to impress, right?
Yeah, like what's really going on? And I need to find a way to get on the same page. And I think once that happens, and then you move forward, again, if y'all like, it depends on your relationship as well. Like, how do y'all really feel about each other? Like, are you invested in this person where like you actually want to build something, and so that in that you want to build something, you're trying to like, I don't want to say groom this person or vice versa, but like, working through your issues.
Right.
Because some people who can just dub stuff, but I feel like if you dubbing stuff that's off bucks again, like then
you can't just continue to dub everything off bucks all the time.
Because
exactly.
you got to build something like these relationships. They take time, they take effort, they take work. Nothing's gonna be perfect. So with that in mind, like I think you got to talk through certain situations. But at what point does it become like a pushover? Is like when you just had enough.
Consistent disrespect.
Yeah, like when you had enough.
I'm saying like,
Is there a strike rule?
That's not a strike rule because that's too rigid. Like, and life doesn't work that way. So you need to like take situations for what they are. Like,
because like if it's a big event versus a small event.
Yeah, because something could be more severe than the other. Like, because think about it, when you're in a relationship, you can get into arguments over like random stuff. An argument at like McDonald's in front of like random people you don't know is different than an argument at a party with a bunch of all your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
Doesn't that come from the same place?
I was just about to use that example too, though. Like,
what you mean?
A whole bunch of friends versus like a whole bunch of strangers. Like, does that matter at that point? Is it as disrespectful at that point? Or is
I think it holds a little bit different weight because when you're around people who y'all both know, there's a certain level of like,
damn, you don't let him talk to him like that?
Like there's a certain level of just respect that I think you should have. Like when you're around like a bunch of people and like y'all consider everyone's friends, and these are people who possibly might be invested in your relationship as well. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm with my LBs and like I got a girl and like they know my girl and like it's a bunch of her friends, like I'm not about to wild out that way. You know what I'm saying? I think it's different. That's just me.
Okay, and what do you think, young lady?
About
in terms
being in
of
different
public.
situations?
So this is the public disrespect too. So we stated the cheating thing. You guys said that for the cheating thing, it's kind of all that period poo. Y'all done with it. Off bucks, right? So in a situation where it's public disrespect, would you say that there's a strike rule behind it, or would you say it's a little bit more difficult or easier to
I think that's a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
And I think that has to do with your growth as a person and how secure you are within yourself.
Okay.
Because, I mean, something that I would not take today, I have most definitely, like, dealt with in the past when I was younger.
Right.
So I think it just goes to how you are as a person. So I do agree that it's hard to put, like, a strike rule to it. But eventually, you just have to draw that line. Like, to me, I don't think there's a difference between if we're at McDonald's or with our friends. Okay. Because if you can disrespect me in front of your friends, like, then it doesn't matter where else we are. Like, the disrespect is going to continue. So I just think when someone is tired, they'll leave. Like, or they'll be like, it's done.
And I think that point's interesting of if you can disrespect me in front of your friends, you can disrespect me everywhere. But at the same time, it's like, what if they're only disrespecting you at McDonald's? Or like, not necessarily McDonald's only, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if they only, like, anytime y'all go shopping, she's always yelling, yo, broke ass, blah, 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 blah. Your card always getting declined with your broke ass, nigga, da, 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 da. Everywhere y'all go in public, that's like a thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or it can be the other side of the spectrum where she only violating you at kickbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let's say there's no divide, right? So let's say it's only public disrespect versus only private disrespect. Does it make a difference in terms of that? Would y'all say?
I don't think it necessarily makes a difference, but I think that, like, if you ever, like, go to a situation where your friends, everybody knows each other, like, you're not about to be more inclined to wild out.
I know people that do this. Like, legit,
some people
like,
do, but I feel like any human being would be less inclined to wild out in front of everyone that they know.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like it's the other way around.
I feel like people are more comfortable in being themselves around people.
Yeah, exactly. Because they know, like, these are my peoples at the end of the day. Like,
really?
They're probably going to be like,
it can go either way, though, because some people are also like, I don't give a fuck. I don't know none of these people, so I don't give a fuck. I'm going to act how I want to act.
True.
But to your point, though, like, there's some people that are a lot more comfortable with being this rowdy, vocal person.
Yeah, because they know that that's their friends, that's their family. They just probably gonna be like, oh, that's a Femi and so
that's a y'all thing.
Yeah,
that's a problem. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the problem because I don't think when you around people that like intimate people that like, you're giving them access to your space, to your relationship. Right. When you're around random people, granted, they're random people, but they don't know what the fuck going on. They don't know you. You know what I'm saying? They'll see it and they'll forget it. Like, I mean, like, I don't think people think this way. I mean, I don't think that people genuinely think this way, but that's like the truth of it.
But don't you behave more in front of people you don't know than people you do know?
I think you should.
I think it depends on the person too.
True. So, like, if you can wild out in public with random people that don't know you, then obviously you don't care.
Right, but at the same time, it's like when you're going out with people that you don't know, you're not necessarily worried about them. Like, say, for example, you're on a date with your girl. Yeah. Or you're on a date with your nigga, right? Like, it's y'all two. That's what it is. It's y'all two. Where you're with other people, it's y'all two, but you know everybody else. So you feel more in the space that you are. When you're on a date, you kind of just feel like it's just y'all two. Right. And everything else doesn't really
And it's a little bit more communal when you know more people.
Exactly.
Okay. That's fair. And okay, so and to that point, right? So let's say a lot of people make this point that a public offense deserves a public apology, right? And I heard our lovely lady over here, Emily, state that she feels that, or was it you, Femi, that said something about discussing things privately after the fact?
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? A public disrespect deserves a public apology.
I don't care too much about that. And I don't think that necessarily holds that much weight.
Do you think that it's so much? I feel like, if anything, that whole concept is stupid to me, personally.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like, the concept of let's let the entire world know
exactly
what the fuck is going on between us.
Continue to know.
Yeah. Like, what does that do other than just let people in your business even more?
That's not what I want to do at all.
Like, I think that people that think like that are very backwards. And I think we see that a lot in celebrity life, mostly as well. Yeah. But what do y'all think? Would y'all say that that's dumb, though? Public
I think it's
offense?
dumb. I low-key think it's an ego thing, feeding the other person's ego to make them feel better, more about themselves. Or, like, well, I guess to make them...
Would you feel special? Like, if your nigga would, like, go on Instagram. Did you see the one video of the... there was, like, the the British guy that was crying on Instagram.
I did see that.
He was like, man, I messed up. You get me.
I really fucked up.
Oh, yeah. yeah. In that situation, like, I feel like
that's some
like
lame shit.
That nigga Shorty, I felt embarrassed for her. Honestly, like, in that situation, like, obviously, you know, we know that it was infidelity that took place there, right?
Yeah.
And he went on Instagram, and apparently he had, like, a significant following as well.
Yeah.
And he apologized openly like that. Would y'all say that that's something that's worth doing?
No. That was probably even dumb because people probably didn't even know he cheated.
And that's the thing, it was probably only about, let's say, maximum 20 people.
Facts.
Even if the circle was big like that, you know what I'm saying? But now, thousands of people know. People outside of the country are seeing you crying on the timeline. What you got to say, bro? Looks like you got something to say.
I think it's dumb. But I think that also goes back to the point of what I said before, like, when you out in public and, like, people don't know what's going on. Whereas, like, when you with your friend and you kind of just give them access to, like, all y'all bullshit, which you shouldn't do. Granted, I mean, you shouldn't choose when you want to give people access, but at the same time. Like,
I think you should choose when you
choose when you want to give people access to your bullshit. You shouldn't choose that. Like, but at the same time, like, just giving people access to what you got going on should be helped with a lot of care, I think.
Okay.
And public display of
remorse
or remorse, like, is just very
alleged remorse. I feel like it's not truly genuine at that point.
Alleged remorse.
But at the same, I feel like it's not truly genuine at that point, and I feel like a lot of niggas are like, "Yo, man, look, man, I was able to embarrass myself like this in front of thousands of people." Like, you know,
ridiculous.
Hey,
people done lost it.
Shorty's, you know what I'm saying?
They be eating it up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna front though, man. Hey, man, fellas, man, the game is the game. Sight on let me
eating up behind screens, like behind Twitter, and like that doesn't hold no weight.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Okay, and just kind of piggybacking off that, right? So you said that public apologies don't really do it for you guys, but okay. So in that case, let's say things that happen privately. What does forgiveness look like for you? So some people will forgive, and the vibe will be kind of different and kind of thrown off, while others are able to forgive, and they're right back to geeking, and right back to how things were. So what does forgiveness look like for you two? Would you say that it's kind of easy for you to be like, you know what, whatever, like it is what it is, or would you say it's always in the back of your head, like whatever y'all do?
For me, I know it's always in the back of my head because now I'm just changing my steps to match like how you treated me in the past. So I'm
matching energy.
Yeah, matching energy.
Okay,
great. So I'm definitely more, I guess, reserved on how like I open up, or it just won't be the same. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think of situations.
I have a perfect example.
Okay.
You confide in somebody
Facts.
with some information
Facts.
about, I don't know, whatever, J.I.D. podcast controversy, relationships once again, right? And it's about some nigga that you really, really like, this and that. Shorty happens to know the nigga. She tells this nigga what you told her about him, how you feel. And the nigga's like, oh, man, I heard your homegirl said blah, blah, blah about you, though, blah, 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 blah. So you go to your girl like, what the fuck, man? Like, I just told you this, privately. At that point, are you moving off some like, you know what, I forgive you? Or are you like, nah, man, I can't even tell Shorty shit no more because, you know what I'm saying, clearly she's going to rap about it.
I think it would depend. It depends, like, if that's her character or if that was just like a slip up. Because I've kind of been in that situation. It was
so you're a gossiper?
No. No.
No, I was just saying.
No, it was a work thing. It was a work thing. So
no, I'm just asking questions, man.
No, I'm not a gossiper, and I've answered.
Yeah, that was my job here, man.
So I've been in that situation before. So I think it just depends on the circumstances surrounding it. So if it's like a continuous thing, like if somebody has a watermark, like if they can't hold anything,
right? Can't hold water.
So at that point, it's on you to like
what information you choose to divulge.
Facts, exactly.
Okay.
So for me personally, I think, like I said, it just depends on the situation. I probably won't share certain types of information. I won't completely cut you off, but I'll obviously like limit what I tell you. If it's something important and I know I don't want it to get out, I'm not telling you. But if it's something
at that point, is that really a friend? If you feel like there's certain things, I mean, obviously everybody has things that they discuss with certain friends. Yeah. You have friends for certain things. You know, people have their friends that they talk to about life and their mental health. Some people have friends that they just turn up with. Some people have friends that, they go to church with. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, is that really a kind of friend that you want to have, though?
Yeah.
Somebody that you feel like you have to consistently forgive for running their mouth every time you tell them.
No. See, I didn't say consistently.
You said they cannot hold water.
Yeah, so I just won't tell you. So I'm not consistently forgiving. But
that's what I'm saying. That, but you're consistently being cognizant of the fact that I'm going to have to forgive this person for running their mouth, so I'm not going to tell them shit. That's what you said.
No, it's not.
How is it not what you said?
Because I'm not putting myself in a position to have to forgive you. I'm just not telling you.
Put some sirens in this bitch, man. Nah, continue though, man.
Yeah, I'm not putting myself in a position to have to forgive you because I'm not telling you. So
okay,
I don't.
But is that genuine friendship at that point? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because like you said,
they're friends for everything.
Exactly.
Okay, fair. What do you got to say about that, bro?
Okay, first off,
okay,
I just want to say I don't like the idea of matching energy. I don't fuck with that shit.
Okay.
You say you don't?
Nah.
He does not.
God,
Let's talk about it, man.
Not for real though. I think that that's detrimental.
Okay.
Honestly, like me matching some bullshit that somebody did to me, like that's a dub.
Okay.
I don't think that's what that means, but continue. Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's how I interpret it now.
Point,
like when people would be like, "Oh, you did me wrong. Oh, I'm gonna match energy." That whole idea, like, it's like, nah, I'm not about to match your energy. Like, my nigga, I'm good. I'm gone. And so that's kind of how I see it. It's like if I don't like the way things are moving, like, I'm out of there. But at the same time,
but you just said that your mentality on things is that you don't like the idea of dubbing things off bucks.
No, I'm saying if I don't like how things are moving, like I think, you can
choose your words carefully here, man.
Let's be honest. That's about time. Put him in the hot seat.
Me saying I don't like how things are moving doesn't mean it needs to happen initially.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There could be a timeline in that. There's some ambiguity in there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I think that. Well, I know that I'm a very conscious person, and I think that kind of holds me back at times because, like, I do remember a lot of interactions that I have with people, whether good or bad. Like, I remember it. So, like, if I haven't seen you in a while and I see you and like we weren't on good terms before, like I can think back to that situation.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think the difference is not letting that, be the force that, dictates how things are going to move, depending on situation, of course.
Okay.
Like if I ain't fuck with you then, you know what I'm saying? I probably may not fuck with you still, but I think there's not definite that I won't fuck with you, granted, like, given, certain variables,
So it's all circumstantial.
Yeah.
All right. I know. Okay. So specifically, there are also people that claim to forgive, but don't know how to drop it, right? So the money example again. Somebody did you dirty with money. You're less likely to leave money hanging around them, from a subtle standpoint, right? You're less likely to leave a $20 on the table and go to the bathroom because, niggas might fuck around and pocket that shit, right? But at the same time, they'll bring it up every chance they get, like, I don't know, man. I remember last time I left money around, this is what you did. So I feel like, would you guys categorize that as forgiveness?
I personally wouldn't.
Would not?
Yeah, because, I guess that goes off to the whole forgive but don't forget type
Forgive
of
and
thing.
forget. That's my next point. Beautiful.
Yeah. But to me, you haven't really forgiven that person because you're always thinking about it. Like, and making it a point to bring it up.
Right.
So obviously it's something that's still bothering you.
Correct.
So you need to fix whatever it is to actually be able to genuinely forgive that person. Because, you can say you forgive the person, but is it really forgiveness if you're bringing it up every chance you get? Like, it's...
But I feel like as humans, we do have the right to, remember things that have occurred to us.
Yeah, remember, but
and act accordingly. Maybe not necessarily bring it up.
Yeah.
I think that's the part that a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Would you have something to say about that?
No, I agree with that, actually.
So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like forgive and forget is a lot easier said than done. I think people try to make it sound a lot more realistic than it actually is.
Forgive and forget is a process.
It is. And, we were talking about, our initial point, right, about somebody murdering your, how can you forget a sibling that was literally, somebody you talk to every day,
right?
That is literally murdered by somebody. At that point, can you truly forget that? You know what I'm saying?
No, you're not gonna
I feel like whenever you think of that person, you're associating that offense with that person.
Right.
And at that point, something as extreme as that, are you not justified for bringing it up? You said that that's not forgiveness. But, it's something as extreme as that. Is that not justified at that point?
I think it would depend in the light that you're bringing it up. If you're bringing it up to...
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and what situation? So let's make it even lighter, right? Okay. So back to the money point. $20, not $200, like I said before. To some people, $20. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to front. It varies based on, you know what I'm saying. $20 goes a long way in college.
Fact. I was about to say, I'm in school now. $20
now, man. Put $20 in your gas, boy. You moving. You know what I'm saying? Especially work from home a couple of days.
That's
shit.
A fact.
Okay, so in that case, so money, right? You said it depends on how you bring it up. So, like I said before, that was a funny example I made earlier, but you go to the restroom, you leave $20 on your kitchen counter, you come out, the shit gone, and then niggas helping you look for it. You ever had somebody do that to y'all, first of all?
Crazy.
Somebody steal some shit from you, and then helps you look for it. I got a story. I got a story for y'all, ladies and gentlemen, before I go any further about this. This grimy ass nigga, if you listen to this shit, fuck you, my nigga. Real shit. Bro, I had some Capriccio Sangrias at the crib, man. We was chilling about to go to Decades, man, in DC and shit like that. You know
so it's not even money.
That's what I'm saying. No, this was alcohol, son. I went to the restaurant, I'll lie to you now, son. I went to urinate, son, not anything else. And this man, like, you know what I'm saying? I came back, my Capriccio wasn't on the table. I started asking niggas like, yo, bro, like, where my shit at, man? Niggas like, man, I don't know who took it, bro. I don't know who took it, blah, blah, blah. I mean, but these were some niggas that wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, my close associates like that. But like, I knew them from school, so off the strength, I'm like, all right, bet, you know what I'm saying, y'all in town, whatever, come fuck with me type shit. And come to find out, the main nigga that was helping me look for it was the nigga that took that shit, son. I saw that nigga yesterday, son. I looked at that man, I said, you a fucking snake, nigga. Man, nigga. Wish I could see my face in the studio right now, nigga. If you listen to this shit, nigga, middle fingers up, nigga.
Oh my God.
Nah. But anyway, back on top. I had to let that off my chest, man. I feel like I haven't expressed that to the world.
Speak on it.
But nah, okay, so $20, right, was taken from you. And what situation, according to you, Miss Emily, is it okay for you to bring it up? Like, yo, this is something that is bothering me. But I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to seem like I'm holding on to it. But I want you to realize that, you know what I'm saying, this ain't cool.
After you've already forgiven the person?
So you're saying that there are certain situations, like there's a certain way that you should present the information without trying to sound like spiteful and bringing it up. That's what you said.
No, like after you've forgiven the person and you decide to bring it up again. Yeah. For that, I don't think there's a situation like where you can bring it up again without it being spiteful. Because, I don't know. So
in your mind, there's no way to address a past altercation or past situation that, you know, require forgiveness without sounding hurt about it?
Yeah, low-key.
What you think, bro? Is it impossible to address something that has happened in the past between you and somebody that had, you know, that needed to be forgiven by one party or another without sounding spiteful?
I don't think so, but I think it's like, what, if I'm about to come back 20 years later about the time you stole a death from me in college?
That's 20 years later. That's what I'm saying.
Well, if it's like that, then I don't think that. Don't do that, my nigga.
At that point, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely probably certain situations like, if you got like severely wronged. Grant, I think the time matters in this for sure.
Okay.
Like, if it's many years past and this is like you still bring it up, then you're the one that was really hurt. Granted, it's not your fault to be hurt, but like, at what point are you going to keep holding that in and not address it?
Okay.
You know, because that means that joint has been wrecking you for this entire time, and that's what I talked about earlier. Like, niggas be holding shit in, and you can see that it's playing a part in their lives. So I think that once you kind of get to like the emotional intelligence where you feel like, okay, I can talk about this without firing shots or killing somebody, you know what I'm saying, about or whatever happened, like you should address it head on for sure.
Okay.
Because, you know, you want to kind of nip the bud as soon before it grows into something that
more substantial. Yeah. And I think something that's interesting about us as millennials especially is that we hold grudges and don't feel the need to express how somebody might have offended us because we feel as though we're just going to look salty. And I kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion on why you think that is. I feel like a lot of times, especially, you know, one thing that I've always said, and I will be a firm believer in until I die, is that men have stronger relationships with fellow men than women do with fellow women.
You said stronger?
Stronger. In terms of loyalty, I would say 100%. I was having this argument literally yesterday, and I'm sticking to my guns. I will die on this hill. But to that point, huh?
I'm on that hill too.
Yeah,
I bet you are.
Are you on the hill?
I'm not on the hill.
I thought this episode you would be. Nah.
Come on, join us.
But I think, and I'm not even gonna get into the sexist concept. I mean, cancel culture. I can come for me, whatever it is. But I think a lot of people, men and women, tend to resort to social media to kind of vent about their issues. Do you guys see that a lot too, or is that just my timeline just being shady?
No, I see that.
So people do not address things that offend them to the people that offended them. They'll go on the timeline and say, "Man, snakes in the grass. That's why I keep my grass cut." You know what I'm saying? Like da. And I want to know, like, why do you guys think that is? Like, why do you? And these are people that follow them. You know what I'm saying? Because they be tweeting this shit with the intention of, yo, this nigga offended me. I know this nigga knows that he offended me. And I know he's going to peep my tweets. So I'm about to tweet this as my way of letting them know I'm angry about this, as opposed to just addressing it right out the gate.
It might be a thing for them and less about the other person.
Emotional intelligence, right? Or no, not even. I mean, Femi made that point, but I want to hear your point on it.
On emotional intelligence?
No. I want to hear your point on like why you think that is.
I think that is because like I said, it's for the person as an individual and really not about the other person.
Okay.
Because maybe you're saying that they haven't addressed it to that other person.
Right.
And maybe it's because they know that other person won't really understand where they're coming from.
Okay.
But they still need to get that off of their chest. And I know we say social media, but social media can be an
soothing
outlet. Yeah, it can be a soothing outlet if you're not OC with it.
Therapeutic.
So yeah, exactly.
For sure.
So you said what?
I said I gave you a snap.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, that just goes to my point. Yeah, I think I'm done.
And what do you think about people resorting to social media as opposed to?
I can dig that actually, but I think that the real root of it is that our generation just doesn't know how to communicate effectively.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
That's facts.
We've experienced, for the past couple of years now. And I mean, it's no one's fault but our own. We kind of grew up that way where technology is kind of taking the middleman between communication.
Yeah.
So we've lacked those soft skills to really speak in person type of thing. So you kind of have to go out your way to make sure that you're actually building those skills and you know how to communicate yourself well. So if you're not going out your way to do that shit, then you ain't gonna do it. You're gonna tweet your life away and get your shit off. You know what I'm saying? You're going to vent. You're going to ride around listening to whatever you listen to. And then, for the way. So, that's what it is. So, yeah.
That's crazy because I feel like people resort, they resort to that, post on social media because they know that people are going to read it. And at that point, I mean, I know people whose friendships have kind of, that's kind of how they do it. And, they just self-tweet each other on Twitter. And then the next day, they just buddy again. I think, and like I said, that's why I made that comment. That happens a lot more with women than men. I see that a lot. With homegirls, they'll subtweet each other, you go to a little tailgate, shorty left you at the tailgate to go get some pipe, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Friends ain't your friends. I was the fuck lit.
Hey, friends ain't your friends is the number one.
But maybe that's because men don't share their feelings. So,
Nah, it depends on the group.
That's not true, bro.
It depends on the group. Me and my homies, man, I'll cry with my boys before, you feel me? I'm a grown man, I can admit that, man.
So if your friend offends you, you'll go to him.
Hell yeah. All my homies listen to this shit can vouch, bro. Facts. No, and I think that's interesting though. And I think to Femi's point about social media, I think it's a lot easier to just express yourself to this website and hope that they see it as opposed to actually speaking up to certain people. But to Emily's point too though about how people receive it being the reason why people decide not to express it is interesting too, because kind of like the whole sticks and stones principle, right? So some people are firm believers that you cannot hurt them with your words, while others believe that words are enough to ruin an entire relationship. So in your mind, are words as unforgivable as actions? So is there a sentence somebody can put together right now that is so hurtful that you can say, you know what, fuck you for life? And in comparison to an action such as robbing you for, I don't know, your car. Maybe not your car, but let's go. I mean, money's an easy thing to say just because everybody's, we young and, you know what I'm saying. But
I don't think so.
You don't think words are more?
So you sticks and stones may break my bones, words will never hurt me kind of thing.
No, I think that the actions hold more weight. If you do something to me that I have seen the action is just I mean, granted, I'm not gonna downplay words at all, but in 9 times out of 10 a situation for me, if you do something, you wrong me as opposed to you saying something, it's a wrap.
So there's really not much anybody can say to you that would really make you be like,
I wouldn't say it's not much that people can say, but I think that when people say, or if people say something, I'm gonna look at it for what it is, how you really feel. You know what I mean? Where's this coming from? Granted, it sounds a lot real sweet, but that's kind of just how.
But even so, on the spot, I mean, I know that you're kind of taking this whole rational approach to this.
That's really how I process it nowadays.
On the spot.
Well, I mean, if a nigga was you a bitch ass nigga and I hate you, it's a nigga what?
Yeah.
I'm a part what? What's good? Because number one, if we want to write, then we can do that. So that's separate of anything. That's why I gotta really just process it and figure out what's going on. You must feel a way for you to say something about me that maybe I wronged you or you just got a lot of hurt in you that you ain't really expressed.
Right.
You know, let's talk about my nigga.
Yeah. All right.
And you won't feel some type of way that instead of them coming to you and talking to you as a person, as an adult, they decide to use their words to hurt you.
Well, it's words either way, ain't it?
You said what?
It's words either way. Ain't
Good point.
If they
good
come
words
to
versus
me,
bad words, but I mean,
sit down hey Femi, that one time or whatever. It's okay, that's cool. But if they go Femi, I don't fuck with you. It's
No.
It could have been communicated a
Like,
different way. No, I'm
mean?
saying the offense itself. I'm not talking about like after the fact. I'm saying like the offense itself is the words. So
like if somebody comes for your craft, like
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there what is something that you're passionate about, and then somebody like uses that to like just belittle
like
you?
somebody's going out of the way to hurt you with their words. Like people, like that's what. So the question was, people have said before that there's nothing anybody can say that will hurt them as much as actions. And I wanted to know if you think it's a level playing field or not.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. I don't think that there's much that people could say that would hurt me at this point. Besides, if you come from my family, nothing I can really think of, because everything else that like I can chalk that up.
What does coming for your family look like to you?
What's coming from my family? Disrespectful in any type of matter, even the slightest inconvenience.
Okay.
Whether it be like my brother, my sister, my mom, cousin, distant family, any. There's no really grounds for that. Like,
I feel that.
If you do that, we're going to wreck. Like you
I
can mark
feel
my
that
words.
though, man. That's the same way I feel about. I'm very passionate about my
so,
family as well.
Outside of that, I don't think anything else holds weight.
Okay.
Words wise, like, because I'm gonna just dub it. Like,
Yeah,
for real.
I feel it.
Yeah, I'm gonna dub it.
And what you think, Queen? Words versus actions. Is it a level playing field, or you think there's a little bit more significance on one side versus the other?
I think there's a little bit more significance to words.
Okay.
I'm a type of person, to me, words are very powerful.
Okay.
Like, people should be very conscious of how they use their tongues
Mm-hmm.
because, like, you never know what's, I know I'm about to get a little spurred, but you never know what's lingering and, like, what's in the air.
spirits.
Yeah, you know, they could hear something. So, to me, and I also think, like, people make a conscious decision to speak certain things. So to me, if you come up to me and you say something that you know, like at that point to me, you're making a conscious effort to hurt me.
Right.
To like hit below the belt. And at that point, I'm just like looking at you real different.
Right.
As opposed to an action. I mean, you know, it could be something that's like in the moment, like, I don't know, you get carried away or like it's more, I guess it more has to do with your situation as opposed to you trying to hurt me.
Okay.
I guess that's how I see it. Like the example about stealing money. Maybe you're broke at the point and you stole money or whatever. But if you're saying something to me, you're consciously making that decision to hurt me.
But some might argue that in there's certain situations where somebody might spontaneously make a statement, you know, out of anger, spur of the moment. The same way you said actions can happen spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Some people argue that, you know, people just say things out of anger that they quote unquote didn't actually mean. But then other people argue that when you're angry is when you're really saying what you mean.
Most definitely. And I'm that type of person, so I make it a big effort to watch what I say. Like a lot of people might say like, oh, you don't know how to communicate. I'm not communicating because I know if I say what I want to say right now, it's like it's going to make it worse.
Okay.
Like, so to me, I make it a conscious effort to like,
be careful what you say.
Definitely be careful of what you say. And so if you can't respect me enough to do the same, then like, what are we doing?
I feel that. I think they carry a significant amount of weight, and I also think it depends on the situation.
True.
So, I mean, there's certain things that, you know, I mean, growing up, I had a big ass head. You know what I'm saying?
I got big
like
growing up.
Like I mean, yeah, my head's still big, but I mean, I'm 16 now, ladies. I know the vibe. You feel me? I grew into my head. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but so I mean, jokes like that. I mean, I became desensitized to those things. You know, because it's like, all right, man, I have a big ass head, whatever. You know, those are words, right? But you know, at the same time, it's like some people receive those same words differently. You know what I'm saying? Some people, you know, can decide to, I don't know, get some type of skull re-sculpting surgery as a result of them feeling, you know, crazy about, you know. So, I mean, I think that it varies based on situation, right? And I feel like actions can be kind of taken the same way, personally. What y'all think? Y'all agree? Yes, no?
I mean, I guess just...
it varies. I mean, everybody's different. Everybody receives information differently.
Yeah.
So, what you guys say, bro? My bad.
For sure. And I think when we were talking about like the idea, well, not the idea, like the notion that this generation doesn't really know how to communicate. I think that me personally, I've worked, or at least I am working like really hard on like fixing the way I communicate, which is why like if you were to say something to me, like I know that you just don't know how to get your shit off. Yeah. Like more than likely. Cause like, again, like if you really feel a way that you got to say something, we will fight and we can fight. You know what I'm saying? So like.
My man's Femi got the hands. He's made reference to fighting multiple times.
I'm
just
saying because you're not about to send me a paragraph text and expect me to read it and not say okay.
Wait, why not?
That's what I'm gonna do.
I don't. Okay. Wait, I'm very confused.
That's a red receipt or
in terms of like people trying to like get this shit off and like really like belittle me like
violate
words and stuff like that. Like I'm gonna just be like,
all right,
cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
all right.
I know you don't really know how to communicate with how you really feel.
Why can't you just take it at face value that they're meaning
exactly
what they're saying?
Because they definitely could mean what they're saying.
Okay, cool. All right.
But I mean, at that point, but on his side of things, if he's not really taking it seriously out the gate anyways, then I mean, it's less hard on him.
I gotta get, and I don't want to keep fighting. I'm not a fighter. But like, if you really feel that inclined, bro, like
I'm with this shit.
You must be feeling you feeling froggy. Like, what's up, my nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? So
I feel that
it's one or the other. Like, you're not about to just keep shouting words and like. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No heart, like. Okay.
So I guess it just depends on the person.
It depends on the person, situation, or I guess.
I mean, all the stuff is situational for sure.
Right.
But I think, like, for me, like, the actions is going to hold weight.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think the whole concept of forgiveness in itself is purely circumstantial.
Yeah.
And like Femi stated, it is based on time. And, you know, as Emily did state, it kind of depends on the delivery of things as well. Mm-hmm. But to that point, though, ladies and gentlemen, we back. J.I. Day Podcast, man. This is season 2, episode 6, man. We out here at Hustle Firm Studios, man. Before I end this episode, I would like to shout out my social media once again at Joe the Great. That's JOETHEGR 8, as well as my podcast page, ladies and gentlemen, J.ADE.POD, man. We got my boy Femi in the building, as well as the lovely lady Emily. Y'all know what time it is, man.
Sure.
We out.